My first LEGO Transformer. When deciding on which Transformer I wanted to try designing first, I knew it was going to be the fourth in my collection, after Optimus, Bumblebee, and Cliffjumper. Optimus being from the official LEGO set, and Bumblebee and Cliffjumper being modified mock versions from Aeronopolis 98. It would be the start of a classic Autobot crew, ergo, the process of choosing became pretty simple for me. If this is going to be the small Autobot team that I'm starting out with, it's gotta have some green in it.
What's that?
Green.
Almost every Autobot team in the movies and shows has at least one green bot to round out the color spectrum, and I didn't want to be staring at my small collection for a few months with coloring that seemed off balance. It's kinda stupid, but it's where I wanted to start. Then when I considered everyone in the original G1 cast, there was really only one major choice for me: Hound. He was a standout character to me when I was little. He's got a cool alt mode, a neat design, and fun image projection powers to go along with it. His particular green color scheme also allowed me to work in this really cool olive green color that isn't seen often in LEGO. After a couple weeks of work in LEGO Studio, I'm really happy with how this came out. It's a fairly clean design, barring some kibble on the back, which I couldn't really get rid of, but this had to be kept so I could hide the wheels in his chest for the transformation. Even with all that though, he's still able to stand well on his own. The design itself largely consists of legal building techniques. I'm only saying this because there might be one or two areas that are a bit illegal, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. You might also see some miscolored parts on the final model here, but that's because the final model isn't really final. There are some parts that I wasn't able to get in my initial order, and I just kinda made do with the parts that I had. And because it's LEGO, if you don't like the color of something or a specific design element on here, if you wanted to build it yourself, you could just change it. And I'll go into some areas where I think there could be some changes soon. I also made sure to include a link in the description to where you can find this project, and in there you'll see a proper assembly and part usage for this. It's not a complicated build or transformation either though, as I tried to keep it as standard as the official transformation as I could. I took a lot of inspiration from official Hasbro toys, though some techniques in here probably wouldn't be included on actual LEGO set, simply because they're probably not as sturdy as LEGO would prefer. With that said, the model isn't exactly perfect. It falls apart a few times even during this recording, but all in all it's a pretty sturdy build, both in bot mode and in Jeep mode. And the finished design scales very well on his own. Here's him standing next to the official transforming Optimus Prime set, and here's him alongside Aeronopolis 98's custom transforming Bumblebee, and my Cliffjumper version of that. And that's a solid lineup of Autobots. I can see these guys making up a show. Looking at his articulation, there's some cuts I had to make for the transformation, but it's not too bad. He has good head articulation with it being on a ball joint, and even some neck extension too. He also has similar articulation at the shoulder cannon. Because of the limited space I had in his torso, I wasn't able to get his shoulder joints to hold his arms out very well. That said, if you do flex his arms forward, he is able to hold those up. He also has good bicep rotation because of the ball joints used here. He's also got individual finger motion, which isn't really a big deal on this scale, but it didn't take much to include. His chest is mostly a block, but if you want to take advantage of another transformation step, he's able to lie down on his chest like this. His hips have good range of motion when flexing forward and backward. He's also got a good split he can pull off, and the knees bend very well. I was even able to get some knee rotation in there, which made his poses a lot more dynamic, at least for me. His feet also double as the seat cushions in vehicle mode, so I included them on ball joints to allow them a little bit more flexibility. This allows him to have some degree of ankle rotation if you want to pose him with his legs out. All in all, he's pretty flexible, allowing for some decent poses. For his transformation, my initial inspiration came from a toy I had when I was little, Transformers Energon Strong Arm, a toy I had for a show I never watched. In that toy, and I'm sure many like it since, the calves fold up to encompass the thighs in what becomes half of the vehicle. I really like this idea, so even though he has hollow calves, they don't feel hollow and allow for really easy transformation into the back of the Army Jeep. The front half though is a bit more complicated and requires a bit of finagling. You lift up the chest and rotate the arms. The wheels rotate out in a method that I think is really cool. Once the chest is up, you fold out the whole assembly on the upper hinge plates. Once that's done, you fold in just the wheels on the friction plates, and then you just pop it back in. The arms have a bit of asymmetry so that they can lock together, with the studs facing forward in one arm and the studs facing the rear in the other arm. This means that the asymmetry will show in robot mode too. Once those are in, they should form part of the car doors. You should also curl in the fingers to help make way for the wheels. The head folds in with the hood coming up over it, and the windshield folds up. The foldable hood should extend just one plate above the rest of the hood. The weaponry folds in and out too, on these long ball joint chains. I personally really hate parts forming, so I wanted to keep this aspect specifically for that, but if you think it's goofy to fold the shoulder cannon in like this, I totally get it, and it's pretty easy to mod that out. I also noticed partway through transforming this that the front half of the mud guards on Hound's chest are in the wrong spot, and you gotta move them up just a bit more, because otherwise they're gonna interfere with where the wheels are at. So ignore anything in the video on where those are placed. And there you have a decent army Jeep. It's a little wider than I would have liked, but I think the proportions came out well overall. I chose larger wheels to convey the off-road nature of the vehicle, and I'm really proud of how the grille came out in particular. The car rolls well too, and is overall pretty sturdy. It scales well to existing LEGO Transformers like Optimus here. And with every bot I design, I want to do a quick look at all the Autobots rolling out together. So let's get a quick rollout shot here. All in all, for my first take on the LEGO Transformer, I'm pretty proud of it. It stands well compared to other bots, and it makes me more excited for what I'll make next. If you'd like to make this for yourself, I linked a LEGO Studio file down below in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed my first fully transformable LEGO Transformer, and I can't wait to show off more. If you end up making this for yourself, let me know down in the comments. The next bot should be coming out in a few weeks, so if you want to subscribe to the channel, I'll be posting updates to let you all know when that's coming out. Feel free to like for more Transformers and LEGO to come, and I'll see you guys next time.